Okay, so hi everyone. So this is Matty from Matty's Custom Scale. And today I thought I'd spend a little bit of time and talk about a Chevy 235 engine I've just finished modeling, and have a little bit of a look around how they fit up, and um, compare it to some of the kit pieces that I've got handy. So, a quick look around the 3D design that I've just recently finished up, and I'll get that into pretty mode. So this is on an iPad. I use Shaper 3D as an app, and been using it for a couple of years now. So this is the Chevy 235, and what I've tried to do is model the base engine around the two types of engines that come from AMT kits. And so one kit is the Chevy 3100 pickup. That's the Coca-Cola truck, but I think the truck itself comes in a few different kits, and that's actually that engine over there. And then the other one is a 51 Chevy Bel Air, and that's the engine over here. Okay, interesting. I mean, they're from the same era of manufacture. They're from the same model company, but they're actually different tooling and different moldings, and I'll cover some of that in a minute. But the motor itself, I built it around, I took kind of the averages of both these engine types and used some reference photos from the internet to make sure I was modeling up things a bit more one-to-one scale correct, not just on sizing but on features. So you can see the block's got a bit more detail than probably what's in the kit. And then I went and added some of the aftermarket items, and I've differentiated the color so it's a little bit easier to see what's been done. But you can see that, there's a lot more finned accessories. The side plate, Offenhauser style valve cover with the breather, air filter cover, some twin 97s, got some Fulton twin exhaust manifolds. The pulley set is all a 3-belt system. Then the generator and the starter motor, you can see I've added a bit more detail. And what you can see in here is, there's even the holes for the wiring, right? So this is what makes a scale model kit even better, is when you can easily get those details in. Coil pack with the coil pack cover, and then the distributor. And I do have the option of having this distributor as a 2-piece. Just depends what your appetite is as far as printing. So I'll go into a little bit more detail with the pieces, but this engine will be available pretty soon through Iceman collections. And if you follow my Instagram page, you should be able to get hold of Iceman's page. He's got some online stores, carries a lot of my designs. He's a great partner. So that will be available as a full kit engine, but obviously because there's a lot of these Chevy 235s and maybe 250s will fit as well out there, that it'll probably get offered as an upgrade kit as well, right? So you can have your period correct build. Not everything needs to be an LS swap, but anyway, yeah. So a couple of comparisons with the two blocks. So you can see the scaling is a little bit different on the transmission. They might even be different transmissions. To be honest, one's probably a truck 3-speed or a 4-speed, and this is probably a passenger car, so a little bit smaller. And then you can see on the truck you've got some ignition or spark plug detail, the fuel pumps there. And what you can see on this right-hand red one is there's some marks where it's been cut and trimmed against, back down to the plastic, and that's probably where that is where I've shown some of the adjustments to make to this motor to get these accessories to fit, and I'll put them up against there so that you get a better idea. But as far as the truck motor is concerned, it should be pretty easy. There's already enough reliefs. If you see the intake and exhaust manifold holes and where the distributor would go, this had a molded in starter motor, and then molded in fuel pump as well, which made it difficult to put some pieces in. So the Chevy 3100 is probably an easier kit to start with if you're looking for the two, but obviously depends what you're working on. All right, so I thought I'd do a comparison of some of the parts side by side, and so for the sump, you can see the fin sump on the left-hand side versus the truck sump, and so nice retro sort of fin detail, kept the bolts in there as well. And then if I compare it to the passenger car sump, it is a bit smaller profile. It is going to help fit in different areas or different builds, but same footprint. And you can see on the truck motor the way it fits, and then on the passenger. Okay. Valve cover, obviously another feature. Breather on the front. It is reliefed on the inside, so that can fit over like that. Nice and easy. This actually had much bigger tabs, so I've cut those away, but the footprint's about the same. Now these are really cool. So if I go to the 3D image, these 97s, obviously when you get into this much detail and you're printing at 1/24 scale, you may not be able to pick everything up. All right. Now I've got a anycubic photon, not the S. I've just got the basic. So to be able to look at the type of detail that I'm able to get with a pretty old printer, see some of that card detail there is looking pretty good. It will line up on the holes for the truck motor. Okay, and then the breather, the fin breather, will sit on the top there. Okay. Now on the passenger car motor, you can see it's slightly different. So this is going to need a little bit of creativity to, either get rid of the tabs on here or cut a little bit of relief in there. It's really up to the builder. Yeah. Another option might be to get rid of this whole ridge, because even when you work your exhaust manifolds, it is going to be slightly different. Now the exhaust manifolds themselves, so the Fenton manifolds, they're a two-piece, and you can see they line up with the truck motor. In those holes there, obviously when I glue it in, it'll stay there. That's the factory one. And then I probably should have shown as well, when it comes to the intake manifold comparison. So that's mine. That is the intake out of the truck. I should be able to get the carb to sit in there as well. Not quite. Okay. But if I hold it up next to it, you can see a little bit different when it comes to detail level. Yeah. Okay. Generator. So the generator's got the pulleys, and I'll flip it around so you get a better idea of how it looks. So my block will come with a little tab there, but if you don't have that tab and it's just on the kit, it'll still connect up. And that's got a hole in the back so you can add that wire in. And you've got the 3-rib design, and I'll talk a little bit about what to do with the pulleys and the wires there. Added in a side plate, a fin side plate detail. So that does fit in. There's these 3 reliefs here to help position it. on the truck motor. And then on the passenger car motor, it's a little bit easier because it's all relieved. But that way you get a nice fin detail there as well. Starter motor. Again, there's the hole at the top there for the wire. And that will fit just snug next to the block there. On the truck motor, and then on the passenger motor, I've had to remove the molded in version, and that would fit there, and that'll get filled in with styrene and painted up, etc. But it'll fit in there. Yeah. The coils. So that's what the finned coil cover will look like. And I will get a set of tweezers and hold up how the printed one ends up looking. See if we can get that in focus. Might be a little bit difficult. Yeah, you'll have to trust me on that. Oh, there we go. That's how the fin version looks like. Yeah. So pretty decent. There is a relief for wire in there as well. That's it on the design, so you should be able to get either a wire will fit in there, or it will be an indentation that's enough for you to glue the wire into that location, so you should be able to position it. And again, if you compare it to the kit piece, it's going to make a difference, right, to the detail. Same with the distributor. So I went for more of a magneto look. So if I compare the two, the kit one is a little bit bigger. It will fit into the relief on the block. And on the top you can see that it's been able to print the holes where the wires will go in, the ignition wires. And then I have printed it, like I said, as a two-piece, just as an example. That might be a better option for some builders. And then those are the holes in the bottom, so the holes go all the way through. Yeah. Now the front drive is pretty cool. So the kit drives look like that. So the timing cover is at an angle, water pump up there, and then this is the thermostat housing. So the passenger car actually has the bottom removed. That's how it comes in the kit. So a little bit ordinary. And then obviously usual sort of kit detail when it comes to the truck motor. So I'd consider those okay. Now if I roughly assemble what the new ones look like, you start to see the level of detail is a little bit different, right? And these are painted, by the way, in gloss black with what is it? Some Amamig chrome, Amamig Alclad 2 chrome. This is the polished brass color, but same sort of packaging for the chrome, and that's come up pretty good. So I dropped the thermostat housing on the floor, but you can see those details there. They come up pretty good. Yeah, details make the difference. And so the next thing I'll end up showing you is a couple of built versions, and that way you get an idea of how they come up. Here we go. That's the other thermostat housing. Let's see if I can get that nice and close. Yeah. So good difference in detail there. All right. Okay, so now that I've got a few engines painted up, we can start to see how they come together. So this is the truck engine, so you can see the slightly bigger gearbox, and that'll be a paint theme. So managed to get the wires into the top of that distributor. And that's how the front's starting to look. So pulleys all line up, looks pretty good. Just got to work out the either 3 individual belts or 1 belt. You can see some of the wires there. So back of the generator, there's a wire, and then top of the starter. Yeah. So that's one piece coming together, and then this is the 51 Chevy. Everything pretty much exactly the same except for the distributor. So I've gone for the 2-piece here, and I haven't wired it in yet, but I've drilled the holes out, and I'll do that just as soon as the glue on the distributor sets. I've had to glue it kind of at an angle. There's a hole there from the kit piece, but yeah, it's a little bit at an angle, and I'm going to keep this one without the air filter cover on, so it's a little bit raw. You can see the generator's at an angle, and that's more my fault than the kit design, but as far as the pulleys, again, they'll match up. So that should look pretty good. Okay. Yeah, so there we go, 3100, or sorry, Chevy 235 motors, looking good.